Hello everyone, it's Birdie here, the Recycled Hippie Chick. I wanted to show you my slow stitch a square for the week. Oh my goodness, I got carried away. I have to show you every little detail of this. I'll try to show you the whole thing. I got started on it and was just going to do my slow stitch a square for the week and make it a journal cover. But then I started loving it. I've never fallen in love with a piece that I made to the point where, oh my gosh, I was just so excited about it. So I started using things that I liked. Like my best friend Tracy gave me this Irish blessing. It was on a towel, and I just loved the colors of the stitching and everything on the flowers. So I wanted to use it somehow. So I used it on here. I had some old embroidery. Whoops, let me put I found this little button, but it had a little loop at the bottom. So I decided to make it a dingle dangle. Tiny little thing. And I just had special buttons that I've been saving in a jar that I thought, well, if this is going to be mine, I'm going to put my special buttons on there. So I started putting my special buttons on there. I started experimenting with different stitches. I just had a blast putting this together. I'd been hoarding this little lace over here for something to do for myself sometime because I loved it so much. So I decided this was the place for it. And I just had a blast. Some of these buttons are so precious. Over here, I have two, one on each side of this blessing, Girl Scout buttons, which I just thought were amazing. Some of them have little tiny intricate detail. Yeah, so that's what I did. This is my slow stitch square for the week. And then I thought that is going to make a massive journal. So I'm going to push pause and show you how it's coming together. Okay, I've been making some tall, skinny signatures that I wanted to try a tall, slender journal for myself. I have not made one. And so I thought, I started putting some signatures together. I'm making a mess here. I'm trying to do this one-handed. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if those will fit in my new journal cover. So I went and got them. And look, I think it'll be a perfect little trifold. Won't that be cute? Anyway, that's what I'm going to be working on. Getting those pages done and bound together and putting them in with a spine and all that good jazz. So there you go. Just wanted to show you that. Now we'll get back to the table. Okay, here we go. So I was showing you my dingle dangle with my homemade beads, and Carrie Ann said, oh my gosh, you need to do a video on how to make them or whatever. I promised her I would. This is for you, Carrie Ann. I have to get a drink of my cream soda. I was in the mood for popcorn and cream soda. So I made some popcorn, and it's very disappointing. I told you guys I quit buying butter. I've just gone back to margarine. I just can't afford butter. So I poured the margarine over my popcorn, and it just shriveled it up like blah, because margarine's, 90% water. So I shriveled my popcorn up, and then I had got this cheesy, the shaker cheesy stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try the cheesy stuff on it. And I got it out. And the medications I'm taking, a lot of foods, it makes it feel like, it tastes like strong onions. A lot of foods do for me, which is a bummer. Well, my popcorn tastes, that cheesy stuff tastes like those onions. So my poor little popcorn venture didn't go very far. Okay. I've been making my beads on this knitting needle. Spotted Fawn just told me today she's been making hers on a pencil because something about these sides kind of grab. She's right. When you try to spin this and roll it, it does just twirl a lot. So I'm going to try it on my Stabilo pencil because this got the sides on it like a pencil. And we'll see how we do. Now, I am just going to make some, okay? I don't really know how, except for I watched the video that Laurie Richardson Haley did, and I will link it down in the basement. And go watch her do it if you really want to learn how to do it, because I'm not a bead teacher, okay? I just kind of winged it, and that's what I did. So that's what we're going to do today. I also wanted to show you the other day, I'm writing things down. Christina, at Christina's Shack, and I'll link her down, and Janet Nash, and I'll link her down. We're making these cute little mushrooms out of cloth for their journals. So I saw Christina doing it. I was out in the barn because I've been watching her when I'm nursing the goat. And so I came in, and then I saw Janet Nash was doing it on her live, so I rewatched that. And while Janet was doing it, I went ahead and got everything out and did it with her. So I just wanted to show you my little cloth mushrooms I made, and these are just perfect. You could either, look, you could put them on the front of your sewing book that you make. You could put them on front of a journal. You could use them in the pages of a journal, wherever you wanted to use them. You could glue them, sew them again, whatever. They were just really fun to make out of little scraps. So I wanted to share those with you. All right, here we go. I've already got this one started. So, well, let's just set it aside because I need to start you from the beginning. I've been using scraps. This is probably too long, but I just cut a bunch so they'd be ready. So we'll just try them and see where we get. This is, tacky scrap, but it will look so cute on a bead. Things that you have that you think, oh my gosh, I will never use that in a journal. Try making a bead out of it, because this tacky, shiny stuff really makes the beads pop. So let's just get started and see how we go. I'm a lefty, so I don't know if I'm doing it as a righty or a lefty. So, really go to Laurie's channel and see how she shows you how to do it. Okay, simple as that. I mean, bada bing. Where's my glue? Do not put the glue on first. Last week, I glued one of these to my knitting needle and had to completely ruin it to get it apart. So do not glue it first. Glue it last if you're going to glue it, okay? Trust me. It did not come apart. Now, these are going to be smaller ones. Mine, for my dingle dangle, some of those were really big, and I like the big ones too. I just didn't cut any big material. Okay, so you get your bead, and you can make it as thick as you want. Let's go ahead and do this one. We'll do 2 on here. Get them started, and that way you can see the difference. This is that long piece. So it's really just the longer it is, the thicker it'll be. And you can cut it towards taper it towards the end if you wish, or you can leave it wide. It does not matter. It's all what you enjoy. Take the learning from somebody and then make it your own. Then, you know what I mean? Make it your own version. Okay, so now what do we want to do? Do we want to use some lace on there? I used a little bit of eyelet lace on this one. Don't use some don't get your material thinking, oh, you know, that's beautiful fabric. Well, you won't know, because by the time you get it all wrapped up, you hardly even see what fabric you used. So don't really worry about, this is a wipe 'em. I wonder if I have any more in here. I really enjoyed working with the wipe 'em. You know how, yes. Okay, we'll do a wipe 'em one. You know how you use your wipe 'ems to wipe off the paint? Well, it was really, I really enjoyed it as a bead. I think this one here might cut the fabric a little better. Am I in screen? Yes. Okay, here we go. These are not left-handed. These are my painful scissors. I'm going to taper this one. Why? Because I want to. Do you have to? No. Can I make my own rules? Heck yeah. Okay. Now, we'll try those here in a minute. Let's go ahead and finish this one. Let's just put us a little bit of lace on here. Well, do you want to make that bead fatter? Wind more lace on it. If you like the way the bead is and you just want to leave it, then just cut the lace off. So I wanted to just thicken it up a little bit. So I just put a little more lace on there. Do you have to? No. Did I want to? Yeah. Am I being sassy? Yeah. Okay. Now, let's put a little bit of string on there. I don't know. I don't remember how she said to do it, so I'm going to do it my own way. I'm going to tie it because I enjoyed having these little tails sticking out and making it look ratty and tatty because it's grungy and I like grunge. So I just tied it first, but you can go all the way back and forth. And you can do this with all different colors. I'm just doing it with one to show you, you know, how I do it. And I'm going to stop right there because I have a tail right here, the other end of it, and I'm just going to tie it on using that other tail that was sticking out. Now, I'm sure people that make these to sell are just cringing at me, but I'm not making them to sell. I'm making them for me, and I like them grungy like this. Now, you think, oh, this is short. You know, when you're doing your slow stitching and you get down and you cut your thread off, save it, because guess what? I can take another short one, tie them together, and that will be perfect to wrap on beads. So look at the birdie's tip for the day. Now, let's see here. What do we want to do for this other one? I don't know if I have any other. Well, here's this one down here. Okay, so let's just add this little piece of ribbony stuff to this one. Like that. And let that be drying. I better stick this in here because I can feel that hole clogging up as we speak. Okay, now we have two going here, completely different ones. I want to add some beads. Where did I put them? Here they are. Ooh, this is cute. Ooh, ooh. Well, we'll put that on something else. Yes, it's very hard not to get excited. Okay, I'm going to use these larger beads. I don't know what they're called, but I'm not going to use the seed beads today because I don't have the patience for them. It was just not fun. The seed beads were not fun for my fumbly little fingers. So this is just how I did it. I don't remember how she said, because, you know, once you watch the video and then start doing it yourself, you just kind of, you know, come up with your own ideas. I just started. I just put my thread in, and I like the knot on there. So, I just stuck a bead on and then, ooh, pulled it out of my glue. And then I just started going anywhere else, random. Poked it clear through, because where I've wrapped it, it's even stabilizing it, I figured, in my mind. And I just kept going till I thought it looked full enough. Just poking it in there every which direction. And you know what, Fawn? You're right. It is easier with the pencil than the knitting needle. And then you saw how I did my dingle dangle in my living room. Uh-oh, this one might not fit. See, you get some that just don't fit through your needle, and then I put a big bead in between them and ran them on a piece of string, but you can put them on absolutely anything. You could now, if this hole doesn't stay there, Janet Nash gave me a great tip. She does them too. But I don't remember, Janet, if you showed them how to do it or if you just showed them that you had beads. I don't remember. But Janet said it doesn't matter if this hole, you know, I don't have it on a straw or nothing. If that hole closes together and you lose it, so use a needle on the end of your string. Get a great big darner's needle or whatever, and put your string on it and just run the needle right up the center and run your thread through, you know, to string it, to put it on your dingle dangle or whatever you're wanting to do. So never fear. There's always a way to use it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know what I did? Over my real time here. This is the real deal. There we go. Okay, this is going to be my last one. See, that one doesn't go through it. Oh, I'm not sure I would be a good bead person. Jewelry maker. That one don't fit either. I probably should have used a thinner needle. Okay, now that's the end of that. I'm just going to tie it off. And I'm done. First bead done. Now see, there's a hole in there right now. So if you're careful with it and don't squish it, you can run your string through or your twine or whatever you want. But there's our first bead. Now, what do we want to do with this one? Let's let's see here. I have a mega abundance of sequins that I got in a sale or something that I didn't think I would ever in my lifetime use. So, because I'm not really a sequins person, but it's really fun to put them on here. Now, I've just been doing a little 3-round French knot is what I've been doing to hold them on. If you have a seed bead and you know, are in the mood to mess with your needle and you know how to do all that, then put a seed bead on there to hold it. But if you don't, and you're impatient like I am, then just do a quick French knot. And things that you would normally, because see, I'm a grungy person. I do not like shiny, flashy bling bling. I don't like sequins. But look, on these beads, it just transforms it into beauty. So I'm only going to do a 2 wrapper. Now, I don't know if Miss Moss is watching me from Moss Cottage. Helen, thank you for your idea. I do realize my paper was ready to be changed, and she said, take that off and turn it into journal pages. She was right. It was time to do it, because sometimes you can get it so grungy that it's just not fun anymore. And I realized I had just totally not paid attention to my painty, my under paper, that it was time to change it. And it was at the perfect, it was at the perfect grunginess to use. So I actually have one in that precious little cover that I made that I showed you guys. I actually put some of it in there as one of those pages. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to stop right there. Later, if I want to, just for sake of time, to show you guys how to do this, later, if I want to go back through and add some seed beads or whatever, I will. Kind of like your journal, you're done when you say you're done. What you say? Let's go ahead and do it now. Okay, I will. Throw a couple on there just to fill in the gaps. And don't get so hung up on, let's see, don't get so hung up on, oh, well, this doesn't look good there, and oh, I need it to match, and oh, this, that, and the other, because once this goes on a dingle-dangle, I'm about to sneeze. Bless me. Once this goes on a dingle-dangle, or, a big long thing hanging, or on the end of your dingle-dangle for your journal, you don't really notice it. You don't know whether your material matched or your embroidery floss matched. So don't get hung up on that, please, because I did at first. I started wrapping wire around mine and putting some seed beads on wire. I'm just trying to get over. I don't need one in there. And so after I got it done and I hung it, I went to all this trouble to try to wrap this wire and put little seed beads on it as I wrapped it, and it wasn't easy. And I hung it up and I didn't even notice it. I couldn't even tell which bead had wire on it. So I'm like, yeah, that kind of detail's not going in it again. See there? What do you think about that, you guys? Are these not adorable? Now, let's do one with the hairy yarn on it. I'm going to take this off, but guess what? I'm not going to throw it away because I can tie it on here and use it for a wrap. There we go. Now, let's see here. Oh, dear, you guys. I went out and fed the baby goat before I came in. And you know how you've been outside and it's chilly and your nose just gets runny, and it has not gone back to normal yet before my video. Let's put a little bit of this on there. My friend Nani gave this to me years ago, and I had no clue what I would ever do with it. I started using it on my tags, and now, look, I have it for my little beads. Nope, I'll probably cover it up with this. I mean, this is just cute like it is. I'm having a hard time. I don't think I'm going to do anything to it. I like it plain. So I think I'm going to leave that one. And we'll do another one. Don't let me lose that. Let's do it out of this one. This is bark. Is this called bark cloth? Those old fiberglass. I don't think this is the fiberglass one though, but remember those old curtains back in the day? Were they called bark cloth? No, bark cloth is what they call, no, that's oilcloth. This could be bark cloth. Oilcloth was the old-fashioned tablecloths, right? Bark cloth was the old window treatments. That's what this is. I adore this stuff. I'm almost down to not having any more, but now I'm just going to hold this and go over it because I'm not going to tie it. And bada bing, I'm just going to glue it down. Whoa, I really glued it. When you take that little silver tip off these glue bottles, it really unleashes the beast. Let's get some of these hairs out of here so they're not all glued down. Okay, now I'm going to pay attention to where that is because I'm going to sew some beads on here and I'm going to kind of go over that. Just a quick update. I don't want to bore you guys stiff with these goats. It's crazy. You are heart-wrenched when he cries when you leave him. But then, I told you guys I had separated him and Forrest for the week till they got used to each other. And then I noticed Forrest was really used to him. So, Friday, I took the gates down and let them together all the time. And now, when I go in and feed him, he could care less when I leave because he's got Forrest. So I go from being heart-wrenched at his crying and needing me, and now I'm almost jealous because he doesn't need me. So yeah, either way, I'm not going to be happy. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be upset if he wants me. I'm going to be upset if he don't. But Friday, I was nervous because he had an issue going on with his belly button, and I know they can get joint ill, which is a little goat disease that if their umbilical cord gets infected, that can send infection through their system and affect their muscles and their joints and can cause them to be crippled. I mean, it's really painful. And he had a little bit of pus coming out of his belly button, and his belly button didn't look normal like Forrest's did when he was a baby. So I was worried that he had it, and I knew my vet was closed on Mondays. So I called him Friday and said, I have an appointment next Friday for doctor to take his horns off, but I'm nervous to wait that long with this belly button oozing. And so she said, well, lucky you. We just had a cancellation for 5:30. So if you think you can get him here by then, by now it was 3:30. And if you can think you can get him in here by then, she'll sure look at him. So I did, took him in. She looked at it and peeled all the big scab off with some beta, whatever that cleaning stuff is. What is it? Betadine. And then she squirted some iodine on it, which he screamed like a drowning child. And then she said, okay, well, let's go ahead and get those horns off. That way you won't have to come in at all next Friday. That was quite an ordeal, and I'm not going to explain it all to you because I'm just giving you a quick update. That was terrible for me. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But I did get home, and the next day or two he just didn't really care to eat that much, and he'd just been through a little ordeal. So today he was back to normal, back to jumping around and cruising around like a crazy cat. And Forrest got me today, and I know it's just playing because the little guy was running and jumping, and he ran way ahead, and Forrest ran to us and was twisting and jumping and playing. And when he got to us, he just kind of twisted and hooked me up in the thigh. In which I can't be mad at him because he's just playing. But I've been carrying a Gatorade bottle around with me full of pea gravel. Half full of pea gravel. I've had like a fanny pack on that would hold that bottle. And I've been carrying it around with me for such a time as this. So I took it out. I grabbed his horns because he was getting me. So I grabbed his horns and held him back while I reached back and grabbed my Gatorade bottle. And then I whacked him on the nose with it. You don't want to whack them on their head because then they think, you really are playing with them. Because that's where they whack you. That's where they whack each other when they're playing. So I whacked him on the nose and I said, no. And then I shook it. And that was like a divergent. It diverged him. Is that the word I want to use? It caused him to think about something else besides what he was doing. Like, whoa, what are you doing? And so he still had his hair ruffled, and he was still wanting to kind of rear up and come at me again. And I just shook that and said no over and over and over as I backed myself to the gate, and out I came. So I brought the baby with me because he shouldn't have to stop playing because Forrest was getting too rough. So we wandered around the big yard for a little bit and then went back in when I took the baby back, and I wanted to go back in with him without my I had my bottle in my back pouch, and just to make sure he was back to normal, and he was, and everything was fine. So I just need to make sure I am not completely comfortable, that I need to have my eyes on in the back of my head when I'm out there. Because when he goes for so many days being so perfect, it's easy to get comfortable. And I just need to learn, no, I can't be doing that. I've got to stay on top of it until I call him Patches now, the little one. Until Patches gets big enough to be able to headbutt and wrestle around with him, I'm going to have to stay on the up and up. I sat in the barn the other night, and I was sitting in where his little bed is, and ready for him to come in because I was done playing and I was ready to come in the house. So I get him in there and lay down, kind of going to sleep, and then I sneak out. And he was in there in the other part of the room, and I said, come here, Oreo. I just started going through some names. Come here, Sven. Come here, what's the guy on Durrells of Corfu that I like? Spiro. I said, come here, Spiro. And then I said, come here, Patches. And he went, Mom. And he came over and looked around the corner. I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess you'll be Patches. Because whether it was an accident or not, it was kind of cool that when I said that name, he came looking. So Patches it is. That'll be his name. I just took that piece of paper and put it on the outside of it. And I think that one's done. I want to do one more and show you guys this blingy blingy. And then I think I'll let you go. I think because I've got another video to do. I have a Flip Through Friday video to do, and I wanted to show you my Happy Mail from Arlene, because I'm kind of getting it scattered out there, so I kind of wanted to show you before I start, you know, using it and moving it around everywhere. Let's see, my Flip Through Friday and Arlene's Happy Mail. What else did I want to do? Too much I want to do, but I was just so excited to show you my book cover. I just am so in love with it. I've just never been this attached with one as I am this one. So I worked hard last night to get it done so I could show it to you. And with baby and everything, you know, every 4 hours feeding, it kind of diverts me. And, you know, it's not just a quick, let's go out and feed him and come right back in. When I'm out there for about an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, because, you know, you want it, babies won't go anywhere without their mama. So you want him to kind of get out and wander around outside and play. And sometimes when they sleep in the barn, they don't get out and do that until you lead them. So I take him outside and we walk around. And I've been getting a lot of sticks picked up in the pasture, because I just kind of go pick up sticks while he plays and explores close by me. And of course, Forrest is becoming spoiled, because every time I go out there with a bottle, he thinks he needs something. So I've been taking him a graham cracker every time. And goats are very routine. They begin to know. There's been a couple times I've forgot the graham cracker, and he's like, excuse me. So I had to run back in and get a graham cracker. Heaven forbid if I run out of those and don't get some. So I've got them on the grocery list down to the last package now. But just one, well, basically leads up to about 4 a day, because every 4 hours I'm feeding. So every 4 hours he gets one graham cracker. Hopefully I don't turn him into a diabetic goat, but surely he loves corn nuts too, if I could afford them. Corn nuts go quicker than the graham crackers do. He loves corn nuts, graham crackers. Oh, darn it. You know what I wanted to do? Well, we're going to have to do another one. Yep, you thought you were about to shut Bertie off, didn't you? Well, you can shut me off and go on about your way. I just wanted to do one out of that baby wipe with that pretty, whatever this stuff is. And here I said I was just going to give a quick goat update, and I keep talking about them. I am sorry. I was not going to do that. Tuesday, I'm going to attempt to go help my friend Patty garden. She's ready to start clean outs. She said it would take us, the yard we're going to would take us about 4 hours, but I think what she's thinking when she says that is 2 hours each, 4 total. So 2 hours would be perfect for me to attempt, see how my body's going to do. If not, I probably won't make it more than 2 hours. I mean, I do have to get back for nursing, but yeah, Fawn, the pencil is the way to go. Faux show, girl. The pencil is the way to go. I need another short one. These are all pretty. Well, that's a short one, all right. But they all add up, so that cute little knot will look cute hanging off of there. Okay, let's do one out of these. I have a feeling this is what I'm going to do with all of my wipe-ums, because I have a whole bunch out there saved, and I've just never actually used them for anything. I thought, well, surely there's something I can do with these wipe-ums, but they're just sitting out there in a box. So I have a feeling they may be my main, bead stuff material, because it's really easy to twirl and it's pretty. And it'll be strong. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And that needs nothing else. Let's just go make it a little thicker. Well, we can't go any farther than that because there's a knot right there. Okay, let's glue that. I don't know. I just like to stitch it also, because I don't know. If I had tacky glue or Fabri-Tac, I would not question it a bit, but I don't know how this art glitter glue does on material. So I'm going to go ahead and tack it. See, it's pulling away right there. No biggie. Oh, you guys, my vision. Why is it that when we get older is when we really want to sit and do this sewing stuff, but when we get older is when it's hardest? Do you guys notice that? Okay. And you know what? I'm not even going to do a knot. I'm just going to pull it on through over here and cut her off. Look at that, you guys. Isn't that exciting? Look, we just sat here together and made 7 beads. And I'm afraid to even look at the time. Oh, let's see here. 45 minutes. Well, it's getting to be about my norm, isn't it? Okay, you guys, have a great day, the great rest of the weekend. I will go ahead and get this uploading, and right after this will be my Flip Through Friday. Have a great day. Bye-bye from Birdie.